Hello, my name is Dylan, but you can call me Buttercup. Welcome to Buttercup's Fascinations. I have something of an eclectic show and tell for you today, so I'll just get right into it. The first thing I have to show you is kind of in the background here. I'm not going to bring it forward because there are like 6 stitch markers on it right now, and they've all been really clanky all morning, so it's just going to stay back here. This is the Abbott sweater. I don't remember the name of the designer, but there will be a link in the description where you can find the pattern and more information. This is actually the 3rd time I've cast this on. The first time I used the larger needles instead of the smaller needles that I was supposed to use. The second time I got to my improvised short rows because this pattern does not include short rows, so I'm adding them to kind of lower the front neckline and keep it off of my throat. So the second time I cast on, I got to my short rows. I wanted to ladder down to fix something and just made it utterly unsalvageable. So I had to rip it all the way out and start again. This one, so far, seems to be going okay. Fingers crossed, I don't do anything to ruin this one either. The yarn is left over from my ill-fated deep winter coat. And I'm just trying to use it up because of how much I got of it. So I've been enjoying this one so far, so hopefully I'll like the finished product as well. So that's just going to kind of stay in the background because, again, clanky stitch markers, and I don't feel like dealing with that, so that's that. Next I'm going to move on to these. So I did a video a while back opening up some calm strips and kind of scratching on them and whatnot, and I included in the description an explanation of what they are, but I've never really talked about them. So calm strips are textured sensory stickers. They can be used for stimming if that's something that you do. They can be used for grounding, for anxiety, for fidgeting, for what have you. On my phone here, I have their original 2 textures. So this is last year's Autism and Neurodiversity sticker in their soft sand texture. This is the first one they ever did. And I have a classic calm strip in the River Rocks texture, as well as an original calm circle in River Rocks. And I keep these on my phone because I stim, I fidget, and if I'm out and about and I need to, they're right here on my phone. And holding my phone doesn't come across as weird. I also have a keychain on my key ring. So I got this new one in black. The one on my keychain currently is silver, and it has the soft sand and river rocks texture. And they recently came out with a couple of new textures that I would like to add to my keyring. So the new textures are called Smooth Satin and something Pebble. Patterned Pebble, maybe. But so this year's Autism and Neurodiversity Acceptance stickers are in the smooth satin texture. A portion from each order of the design goes to the Autism Self-Advocacy Network. And there's some information about the symbolism of it. The gold infinity symbol for autism represents the extensive range of autistic experiences and uses gold inspired by the chemical element. The rainbow infinity symbol for neurodiversity represents the diversity of people on the spectrum, as well as human cognitive and intellectual capabilities, which I think is really cool. So this is the smooth satin texture. It is pretty much a smooth sticker. It's a slightly bit more of a matte, kind of grippy texture than a regular sticker. And I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit sparkly, which is really cool. So I have these. I have this design, Polar Solar, which is also in the smooth satin texture. If I can get the bag open. There we go. So, Polar Solar and smooth satin. It's a nice texture. Not bad. And finally, Nice Neighbors. And I think Patterned Pebbles. I'll remember what the texture is called as soon as I stop recording. But I had not felt either of the new textures before I started recording, so this is all new to me. It doesn't say on the card the name of the texture. Ooh. That's nice. Geometric, a little bumpy, not as uneven as River Rocks, but more prominent than Soft Sand. I got this design for this texture because it reminds me of like Stardew Valley and Story of Seasons games. Just kind of gives me that vibe. So that's cool. I'm going to take one of these. Peel off the backing. Put it on one side of the keychain. Try to line this up precisely. They are re-stickable, so if I mess up, I can try again. Okay. Here's that one. And I'll take a Polar Solar. and smooth satin. Drop it on the floor. It's fine. I have others. Peel off the backing. And stick it on the other side. There we go. And then when I'm done recording, I can add this to my keyring. And then I will have all 4 textures with me every time I carry my keys. I do like the patterned pebbles. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong. I do like this one. It's nice. My phone. So you're going to go over here, so you can't fall off of anything. And my phone is going to go on my bed, since it insists on going off. So, my mom got me my first comm strips for Christmas. They were a stocking stuffer. And I have an ever-growing collection of them now. I really, really like them. Let's see. Next up, Tears of the Kingdom. Came out yesterday. GameStop has been having some issues with their order update system. So I got an email telling me that this had shipped, but when I went and checked the order status, there was no tracking information, no nothing. And I only finally yesterday got an email saying, whoopsie, we're having trouble with our order tracking. Here's your tracking number. If you already got it in the mail, oops. But it didn't come until today. Mailman came around very early, the postman. Mail carrier. There we go. Mail carrier. Came by fairly early today, actually. Dropped it off. So that's neat. Looking forward to playing it, and hearing Matt Mercer as Ganondorf. That'll be fun. And last, I have these 2 tarot decks from Weirdworks LLC. Weird.works is the website. I'll start with this one, actually, because this one's a bit weirder. So this one is not a usual tarot deck. This one represents different Dungeons and Dragons classes and can be used to divine initiative in combat rather than regular tarot divination. I thought that this was going to be a more regular tarot deck with some extra cards for doing initiative. No, it's all D&D. So there are some that have 4 cards, some that have 6. The core classes each have 2. And all of the ones, so these are both the Bard. It's the same art in different colors. And that's what all of them are in this one. So if there's, I think, 6 beasts, it's all the same art of a wolf in 6 different colors. You know, the cleric is the same art of a cleric in 2 different colors. It does have a way to do a divination, like a regular tarot divination, with these cards, but it's not like standard. I wouldn't be able to play solitaire with these ones. That was cool. But they are interesting. They're neat. Very pretty. This one is a more standard tarot deck. This is the Eldritch Overload. The other one is the Adventurer's Tarot Empress deck, if it'll focus. Come on. No focus here. Adventurer's Tarot, the Empress deck. This is Eldritch Overload. Comes with a reading guide. Very helpful. And fairly standard tarot deck. It's got my one complaint here is that the major arcana are not numbered. I like to have my major arcana numbered so I can keep them in order. There is a numbered order in the book, in the guidebook, so I can put them back, but if they had numbers, I wouldn't need to reference the book. But I really like the aesthetic of these cards. We've got wands, potions, swords, and coins. I like how many cats there are. And I like the unicorn bunnies on the Queen of Coins. Very pretty cards overall. And the insides of the box, you may have noticed, have some really cool art. We've got a cyberpunk beholder in the bottom. In this fun scene with a talking pigeon in the top. It's really cool. I haven't played solitaire with it yet, but I would like to. I like solitaire. Haven't done any divination with any of my tarot decks, but maybe at some point. I even have a handy guide with the Eldritch Overload set. But just, you know, some things that have been at the front of my mind lately that I wanted to share. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.